All right, hello everybody. KVUE Chief Meteorologist Hunter Williams here with our nightly KVUE Plus and YouTube Live extended update on the forecast. It's been pretty quiet this week. After all the Arctic, winter, super cold stuff we had last week, we've been much warmer, much quieter this week. A few things, though, that we continue to track. We have another fog chance, not even a chance. We're going to have some more fog tonight into tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon looks like it brings our warmest weather so far of the week, so some areas getting up close to 80. Then tomorrow night, this is not a strong cold front, not to freak anybody out after what happened last week, but a weak front's going to move through. Then I do think we could get back into some rain chances early next week, maybe even a strong storm risk. So that is what we'll talk about tonight here on our extended update on the forecast. We'll start with this live view outside from our Zach Theater camera. Have you zoomed in at the Pfluger Pedestrian Bridge in Lady Bird Lake? We were watching that during our 6 o'clock newscast. We had folks walking around the lake, jogging, enjoying the beautiful weather that we have had. All right, high temperatures today, 78 for Camp Mabry, 77 at the airport. This morning was still a little cool, especially out at the airport. Went down to 38. Camp Mabry 46. I think the low clouds and fog will catch our low temperatures a little bit earlier tonight, so it's probably going to be just mid-50s for overnight lows tonight. The record today, by the way, 92 from back in 2008. We get into late February, early March. That's when we have just these crazy spreads and the possible weather that we could have here in Central Texas. Current numbers outside: 71 in Austin, 70 in Pflugerville, to 69 right now in Round Rock. Cedar Park is at 70, as well as Leander. Across the hill country today, Llano and Mason earlier were in the 80s. Still in Mason at 77. I believe their high in Mason today was 88 degrees. Close to 90. Pretty crazy. It is 69 in LaGrange right now. Same number in Giddings. Bastrop at 74 degrees. Here's the plan over the next 6 hours. If you have anything you're doing outside through this evening, temperatures continue to be very, very pleasant. When I was microwaving my dinner, I was waiting for it to heat up. I stepped out in the courtyard at KVUE. It just feels fantastic outside. Temperatures dropping through the 60s. They'll kind of level off in the mid to upper 50s once we get into the overnight. Again, once the low clouds and the fog starts to develop, it catches our low temperatures, and they're not going to drop much more after that. All right, so let's get into our fog tracker. Here it is. We'll go into about 7 a.m. and it's going to be kind of the same spots that saw the fog this morning. So the most widespread stuff will be in the coastal plains, Lee County and Giddings, Bastrop County and in-town, Lockhart and Caldwell County, then Fayette County and the LaGrange area. There will be some fog in the Metro and I-35 corridor. I just think it's a little bit more hit or miss, and even into the southern sections of the hill country, especially Blanco, out towards parts of southern Gillespie County, then along the water there, northwest Travis, then following out into places like Burnett. There's going to be a chance for some fog. As we go into the mid to late morning hours, though, fog, low clouds, lifts, gives way to a lot of sunshine for the afternoon on Wednesday. Here's my forecast tonight, and I also have the fog layer turned on just so you can see where exactly that is. Temperatures, I think, will be milder, a lot of mid-50s in the forecast for tonight. A south-southeast breeze. Closer look at the Metro, Round Rock 56, Lago Vista 54, Lakeway 55, Wimberley, Kyle dropping down to the mid-50s as well for tonight. The hourly forecast tomorrow. This will be familiar, just like today. Low clouds, some fog, gray in the morning. Give it to, 9, 10, by 11, certainly, I think. We're going to be looking at a lot more sunshine. As we go to the afternoon, though, I don't think it's going to be like a perfect blue sky like what we had today. We do have a few clouds even in the afternoon as we wait on our cold front, which again gets here in the overnight hours. So it's going to be tomorrow night into very early Thursday. Now, most of the time, our warmest weather ends up being the day immediately prior to the cold front moving through, so I think that will be the case again this week. 79 is the forecast high for Austin tomorrow. 79 in Bastrop, Giddings, 79, Schulenburg, 78. Look at Mason, again, 86. Could even be a little bit warmer than that if today's trend holds true for tomorrow. 79 in Johnson City. 83 degrees for Llano. Closer look at the Metro and I-35 corridor. 78 in Round Rock, Leander 78. You get the idea. Mid to upper 70s all across our KVUE area. Now let's time out this cold front. This one is certainly not going to be a big deal. All right, so there it is. Pretty quiet, slides through overnight. By 8 a.m. on Thursday, behind the front, we get into the overrunning pattern. So we're going to have clouds, probably some low clouds. The wind is likely going to prevent us from having any sort of like super dense fog, but maybe a little bit of drizzle or some light rain showers. I have a 10 to 20% rain chance on the 7-day forecast. That might be kind of optimistic. And then model data says as we get into mid to late afternoon, we'll try to get the cloud cover out of here. How early the cloud cover moves out will determine how cool we will be. I think because the clouds probably give way by the late day, we'll warm up just a little bit, upper 60s, low 70s for afternoon highs on Thursday, which is more or less average for this time of the year. So I don't even know that we get a single day below average, but relative to the weather that we have been having and will have tomorrow, it's about a 10 to 15 degree temperature drop. Certainly nothing we can't handle after what happened last week. 73 for Friday. Saturday, we rebound. We're back up to 78. Sunday, a little bit more cloud cover around. That could drop us very slightly, but still we're at 76. Numbers running even warmer than average for this time of the year. At the beginning of this broadcast, we told you maybe turning a little bit more active early next week. Let's talk about that in a little bit more detail. And I will tell you, so this is our European model, typically pretty accurate. Our GFS model has kind of flip-flopped. Yesterday, they were both showing some sort of a storm chance. Now the GFS model says we basically get no rain early next week, which, look, I guess is a realistic possibility. But I think this European model has a pretty good idea. And I think our best storm chance is going to be on Tuesday. Again, this is Tuesday of next week. So here's 6 a.m. We've got a Pacific front coming in. A line or some sort of broken line of showers and maybe even some storms. It's coming through pretty early in the day on Tuesday, though. That might help to limit severe weather potential. Then you can see some of these yellows, especially northeast of here into sections of North Texas and deep East Texas. I think that's probably where the better storm risk is going to be. But I do think we'll get some sort of rain out of this, and we'll continue to monitor. Obviously, if the timing shifts or if the system looks a little bit more powerful, there could be some sort of severe weather threat. I don't see it being a huge severe risk for us, though. Then that system will be moving out as we get into late day Tuesday. Then we're back to some drier weather as we get into Wednesday, the middle of next week. It does not look like there's much, if any, cold air coming in behind this front. So folks are asking me, is winter over? Look, I'm sure we'll have a couple cool mornings, right? But honestly, in terms of what I'm looking at the next 1 to 2 weeks, I don't see any big cold snap. So I do think we're kind of getting into the time of the year where we're kind of saying goodbye to winter. I think I'm all right with that after last week. So as I mentioned, there's some difference in the models right now. GFS American model over the next 7 days says maybe a couple hundredths of an inch. The European model, which I just showed you, brings through some of those showers and storms on Tuesday in the morning. So that would give us, say, a quarter of an inch to a half inch of rain. Nothing crazy. I think I'm probably leaning a little bit more towards this European solution with some sort of a rain and storm risk as we get into about Tuesday of next week. Here's our allergy count today. This was in pretty good shape. Elm and cedar, both in low concentrations. Mold was high. This continues to be the case, and when we have these like foggy, damp mornings, it just, it makes the mold levels much higher with the damp, kind of humid weather. So I expect kind of similar conditions with mold tomorrow, but at least tree pollen in pretty good shape. And hey, we made it through, it appears, this cedar season without any crazy cedar spikes. We had some days where it was high, but none of those bad days where you can like see it blowing off the trees. I think we made it through without one of those. Tonight, it's going to be clear early, then low clouds and fog develop overnight. We'll drop down to about 56 degrees, so that's going to be about 10 degrees warmer than what we had for this morning. Then tomorrow, morning fog, clear to afternoon sunshine, very warm, probably our warmest weather of the week. High temperature of 79 degrees is in our forecast. On the 7-day forecast, tomorrow night, that front comes through. Not a big deal at all. We're going to have a 20% chance, if that, for some morning drizzle and a few light showers to begin Thursday. Cloud cover will probably hang with us into the early, even the mid-afternoon hours of Thursday. Then we start to clear from north down to the south as we get into the back half of the day on Thursday. Temperatures certainly not frigid, but they'll drop about 10 degrees or so. Friday morning, 46. That will be kind of our coolest morning behind this front. Again, nothing we can't handle. 73 for Friday afternoon. Saturday, that looks beautiful. Sunshine, high of 78. Then as we go into Sunday, maybe a little bit more cloud cover. That will drop us into the mid-70s. And then for Monday, I've got a partly cloudy sky, just a 10% chance for rain, high of 77. Then going into Tuesday, 80 degrees, and as I mentioned, we do have some sort of a chance for some scattered showers and storms, maybe a couple of strong winds on Tuesday. So that is what we are tracking. We appreciate everybody joining us for this YouTube and KVUE Plus live update on our forecast. We do this every night at 7 o'clock. Next update from me will be KVUE News at 10 o'clock. We'll see you then.